Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm Amobi Okugo, host of Money Talks, a new podcast from a frugal athlete in partnership with Billion or Bust Media. Money Talks explores the world of business behind professional athletes. I speak with financial advisors, business managers, marketing and PR professionals who specialize in running the business of being a pro athlete. Tune into Money Talks on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. You can also find new episodes on billionourbustmedia.com and afrugalathlete.com. Again, billionourbustmedia.com or afrugalathlete.com.
Good day, good people, and welcome to the 2 Cents Podcast. That's right, the 2 Cents Show with Jay Richardson. And I am your host, Jay Richardson. Excited to be here today, excited to dig into a lot of different things, but one very, very big topic, the biggest news to me of the sports week, month, maybe year. State of California passed a bill that I want to talk a whole lot about. But first, as always, like, subscribe, share this podcast. Please tune in, check it out, and continue to like and subscribe. I'm loving the feedback I'm getting, and I want to keep that coming, and we're going to keep on trying to give you guys what you want. Now, I got to start off with some of these NFL news and notes and stuff for the week, just because it was an interesting week in the NFL season, and there were a couple of things that stood out to me. So I'm a former Raider, as some of you might know, and my Raiders beat the Colts. I'm going to mention that just off GP. Come on now, it's the Raiders. So good job, fellas, getting things done. Gruden feeling good. Yeah, it was a couple bumps, a couple injuries, but got it done. The Lions came very, very close, about 40 seconds away from beating the Kansas City Chiefs, who've been pretty much touted as the second best team in the NFL. That was very interesting. There's two ways to look at it. One, you can say, man, the Lions, you guys are just like a couple stops on defense away from really being a very, very strong team, probably one of the top 10 teams in the league. Or you can look at it and go, man, Pat Mahomes really does get it done in the clutch. This kid has the Aaron Rodgers gene. I don't understand how he does it, but he finds a way, no matter what, to put his team in position to win, and that was big time. Bottom line is this. That game should not have been that close. So that tells me one or two things. Either the Chiefs aren't as good as we think they are, or the Lions are a whole lot better than we thought they were. Next up is something that I'm going to get into. Well, I'll save the Redskins-Giants for my next lead-in topic. Browns showed up against the Ravens. I was surprised by that. That one stuck out to me. Cleveland Browns, after, they had to hear everyone's mouth after coming out struggling and, not having a set the world on fire kind of start. They were 1-2, and everyone was ready to bury them. And they came out against a good Baltimore Ravens team with Lamar Jackson on fire, and they took it to him. From start to finish, defensively took it to him. Caused turnovers. Offensively, ran the football. Nick Chubb, that 80-something yard run. Okay, I like it. Okay, Cleveland, you'll be relevant for one more week. Buccaneers destroyed the Rams, and by destroyed, I mean beat them by 15, but they put up 55 points against an Aaron Donald-led Rams defense. That was surprising. Jameis Winston, you just continue to confuse us, man. We don't know. Are you the second coming, of damn Warren Moon, or are you the second coming of RG3? I don't know. Like he's 1 week he's amazing, the next week I don't know. But they ate a W, so good job. It's unbelievable. Next thing that I guess kind of surprised me, it shouldn't have. The Jaguars are still rolling. That's unbelievable. Minshew looks like the real deal. It's strange too, right? Because Gardner Minshew, who's the backup quarterback, backing up Nick Foles gets out for the season, and Minshew steps in there and is lighting it up. It's almost like he's Nick Folesing Nick Foles, because remember when Nick Foles had to take over the starting role in Philadelphia and they won a Super Bowl, and now you got Minshew taking over the starting role over Nick Foles, and he looks amazing. Leonard Fournette finally looked for once like we thought he'd look coming out of LSU. So I gotta say, Jaguars, I'm impressed, especially even with Jalen Ramsey not being happy and all that. That was interesting, very interesting. Now, I think an even bigger noteworthy news story for the NFL season, I guess, was the fact that the Saints beat the Cowboys without scoring a touchdown against this vaunted Cowboys defense, against, Dak Prescott and Amari Cooper and Zeke the Freak back there. You would have thought the Cowboys was going to score more than 10 points, especially against the New Orleans Saints, who've never been truly known for their defense. But their defense is playing stellar lately. I had to give some shout out to the Saints. Why? I think it was the last team that gave me a paycheck, and they're full of Buckeyes. So congrats to the New Orleans Buckeyes. Y'all got it done. Now, Redskins-Giants is important to me for a couple reasons. One, Jay Gruden is officially on his way out. You can pretty much sign the papers. My man is gone. It'll happen this week. It'll happen next week. It'll happen soon. That team is going under. That team is slowly going under, and it's like he's trying to sink the ship himself. He is lighting everything on fire there, and not in a good way. Jay Gruden decides to make a decision to bench Case Keenum to put rookie Dwayne Haskins in, after he's told us repeatedly how Dwayne Haskins was not ready to play yet. And not only does he bench Keenum, he benches Keenum right in the middle of the game and throws Haskins into the fire. I don't know if people understand this. Let me tell you something about preparation and quarterbacks. Every game plan is tweaked for that specific quarterback, right? Every play call, every signal, every single check and read and hot read, an offensive coordinator builds around his starting quarterback. It's built around the starting quarterback's skill set. So whatever that QB skill set lends itself to, that's what they're going to run. Not sure if you guys have ever watched Dwayne Haskins play football or Case Keenum play football. Wildly different skill sets. Very different skill sets. So then what do? You take Case Keenum out and you throw Dwayne Haskins in to Case Keenum's playbook and offense. And what happens? He looks horrible in it. He throws 3 interceptions, only 107 yards, 9 for 17, and everyone's going, dang, I guess he wasn't ready. Well, no, can I curse? You know what, whatever. Of course he didn't look ready. Of course. You just threw him in there with another man's playbook and offense, and he doesn't know how to run that. And that wasn't what he was built to run. That's not what he's there for. So, Jay Gruden, it'll be nice to see you out of the league. I don't understand still to this day. We're trying to figure out how he got that job. I know his last name's Gruden, but come on. I mean, it's one of those things fuck. But you know what? Whatever. That was annoying to see. Biggest news of the on the field week, I should say. Raiders linebacker Vontaze Burfict went full on Vontaze Burfict in a game. Tight end caught the ball, had a knee pretty much down, was getting wrapped up. Tez comes over to clean him up, and what does he do? He does what every single NFL player knows you're not allowed to do. As a matter of fact, if you've ever played the sport of football, high school or above, NFL, college, you'll see the same picture on the door of every locker room. And it shows a goofy cartoon drawing of a guy about to hit someone and lowering the crown of his helmet. And then beside it, there's a same exact picture of a guy raising his helmet so that he sees what he hits. And it says, here's the right way to hit, here's the wrong way to hit. And there's a big X on the one with the guy leading with the crown of his helmet, Vontaze Burfict. And what does Vontaze Burfict do in this game? Goes to make a tackle and just could not wait to lower his crown of his helmet right into the damn guy's head. Instant helmet to helmet. You can call it a bang-bang call. Nah, in slow-mo it looked bad. In real time it looked bad. And the ref threw that flag high up in the air, and little did we know, there went Vontaze Burfict's entire 2019 season, because the NFL was very heavy-handed on him, handing out, a full year suspension without pay. I think it's kind of unprecedented. However, if there was a guy to set this precedent, it is Vontaze damn Burfict. Why? Dude, this is your 11th infraction, I believe, and counting, it seems, because, even though you're suspended, you're still in the league. You just can't play this year. And I got a feeling you'll do it again next year if you end up coming back and get reinstated. You have an issue, my man. You have a real issue. Either you just hard-headed and you was that little kid growing up that just, you could tell him 17 times not do something, he'll still do it. And he must have got a lot of whoopings growing up, because he don't listen. He just don't listen. Dude, don't lower the crown of your head. Don't take shots at a guy after being through the amount of penalties and suspensions and fines that he's been through. I'd be out there playing patty cake. I'd be out there two-hand tagging guys and just trying to push them over. He's still doing the same dumb stuff. And I know everyone had a reaction where you can't take a man's livelihood, where you can't, you take away his ability to earn for his family. Everyone knows me. I'm a very, I'm usually centered around the players and what their needs are. Shockingly, because I was one and I get it differently. However, this time, I'm sorry, y'all, that was just dumb. Vontaze Burfict, you have got to be so much smarter than that, and you're going to have no choice but to think about it because you're going to have a lot of time away from football. And maybe it's going to be good for him. I don't know. Now, I want to get into the biggest news of the week because this will take a little bit to kind of, dissect. And I can't tell you I know every single in and out of the bill itself, but I do have a great idea of its repercussions. So let's just take it from the top. Over the weekend, some point in the last 5 days, California Governor Gavin Newsome passed a bill that basically allows student athletes in the state of California to earn money, dollars and cents, off of their likeness. What does that really mean? Basically, it means this. It means if you are a student athlete in the state of California and you want to earn any kind of paycheck based off of who you are, or any kind of one-time payment, or just earn any kind of money, period, off of who you are, you can do that like everyone else in the world, which is kind of nice that we've, allowed these students to be treated like normal humans, because I don't understand why we wouldn't. So if I'm a football player, basketball player, hockey player, I'm pretty good. People like me. And a guy says, hey, man, I want to give you $1,500 to come down to, our local pep rally, or come down to Dick's Sporting Goods, or come down to my store and sign some autographs for 2 or 3 hours. You can go do it and make money. This is a capitalist society. I can't think of anything more capitalistic and wonderful for an American citizen to be able to earn money on their own based off of the merits of their own skill set. Yeah, that's how it's supposed to be. So, what's the fallout of all of this? Because that's all the bill really says. And basically it says a lot of little stipulations. You can have to have an agent, stuff like that. That's all stuff that isn't that hard to do. Heck, if you got an uncle who wants to be your pretend agent and book you for these kind of things, that'll be fine too. Very cool note, the bill was signed by Gavin Newsome on LeBron's show, The Shop. We all know LeBron James has been a huge backer of the idea of student athletes getting a chance to earn a living off of what they do and making money, because we know what they make for the school. So, NCAA, obviously not very, very happy that California made this decision. NCAA made a statement, and I'll sum it up with one of their, lines of their statement saying, this makes it very hard to have a level playing field for all of our 11,000 plus campuses and millions of students. They're not happy about the bill. I'll tell you guys why they are not happy. And by the way, NCAA reported $1.06 billion in revenue in 2017. So what people got to realize is the NCAA is a $1 billion company. Aren't too many of those on planet Earth, and the NCAA is one of them. That tells you the kind of power they have, because with billions comes power. That's just how it works. And they've decided they don't like the California bill because they think it makes things unfair, essentially. NCAA, if your concern was truly leveling the playing field, I got a really, really easy fix that you can make that would change everything and make it fair all over again. Amend the damn rule. Make it okay for all student athletes under the NCAA umbrella to be able to earn a living off of their likeness. Oh my goodness, how hard would that be? Why is that important, that every state be allowed to do this? Because here's what's going to happen. California is going to propose it and pass it. They proposed it, it passed. New York is now proposing it. I assume they will also pass a bill, and there's been a handful of other states, including South Carolina, Florida, and as recently as 2 days ago, the state of Pennsylvania proposed a very similar bill, almost the same bill. I got a feeling they're going to pass it too. Why are you seeing all of these states propose this bill? Because they know, like we all know, if you want to get top-tier players, you better be in a state that allows your top-tier players to earn off their likeness. This is pretty commonsensical to most of us who enjoy sports, watch sports, pay attention to, economics and trends, or someone who played the game, especially because it's only going to really affect maybe 10% of the players. When you think about the idea that all of your five-star guys usually end up being starters on the football team by their sophomore year, that's pretty common. Those will be the guys that will have the best opportunity to capitalize off of their likeness. So you're going to see a lot of these five-star guys who can dramatically shift the college landscape go from one school to the other, and it won't be a school that doesn't have this bill. I guarantee you in 2023 when the bill passes, you're going to see a good handful of top-flight, top-tier guys going to UCLA, USC, Cal, maybe not Fresno, but you're going to see them going out to California. Why? Because what's the point of being a top-tier guy if you can't capitalize off of everything that comes with being a top-tier guy? That's the way the world works. So for those of you out there who are saying, well, I just don't like the bill because I don't think, it should be a pay-for-play. It's not a pay-for-play. There is no salary. There is no way to, divvy it up. There's no pie that the NCAA is dividing for these kids to make money, or the state's dividing for these kids to make money. No one's paying the kids. They're saying if the kids want to go out on their own and try to make a little money, they can do that. And, I guess the strangest thing has been the pushback from good blue-collar folks like myself and everyone else who just loves, sports and likes to see people do well, right? To me, it's so strange how everyday blue-collar folks are so upset by students having the opportunity to earn money while doing what they enjoy. Like, isn't that the American dream? Isn't that what we all look for out of a capitalist society? A chance to go out there and earn on your own? How on earth could we be upset at some kids who have the chance to do the same thing that we've been trying to do since we got here, whether it be through birth or through immigration? We've all been trying to find a way to get out there and make something and do something with our time here on the mud ball. So, that's more water than mud. Point is, I love the bill. I'm glad that it passed. I think it will cause a lot of other states to do the exact same thing. It will, I think, be something that the NCAA is going to feel a lot of pressure behind, right? As more and more states pass this bill, the NCAA is basically looking at, like a federal kind of civil war within college sports, because you're going to see things start to split apart. It'll be one of two things. Either the NCAA will just go, all right, fine, and they'll cave and they'll just end the rule that way. Each state doesn't have to legislate its own, schools and student athletes. I think that's ridiculous. I hope that we can come together and just go, we think this is a great thing to pass, a bill to pass federally. And then the NCAA, if that happens, well, the NCAA is kind of going to be obsolete, because at that point, their power was now taken by the federal government. I don't know if that'll happen, but I got a feeling they will end up caving. If they do not, you may see a changing in conferences. You may see the NCAA try to flex its muscle and force, certain conferences to split up, or force certain teams out of certain conferences, which would really muck things up and I think tarnish the product that people love. And I think that is the biggest, worst outcome. I think the best outcome is the total and utter annihilation of the NCAA as it is currently constructed. Why do I think that's important? They've had their run, I don't know how long has it been, 60, 70, 89, I don't know how many years. They've had a great run. They've been able to dominate the collegiate and amateur sports market for a long time. They've been able to successfully help all these schools capitalize fully off of the labor of 18 to 21-year-olds who sometimes earn way more than they ever could have anywhere else for a school. And I think, to me, that should all change. It should all change really, really soon. And I think with people who don't like the rule because their first thought is to say something like, well, and I've heard this a lot on Twitter and Facebook, with the back and forth in the conversation, there are still a handful of people out there who go, I just loved college football because, more than NFL football, or college sports in general, more than pro sports, because it's pure. These kids are just playing for the love of the game, and they're just playing for their school, and they do it all for their school, and that's really what it was always about. And I mean, I'll be frank, like, I want to slap those people right away when they say that, but I can't give them like a virtual slap through my phone. But what I really want to say to him is, when on earth was it ever pure? It was never pure. The kids were pure, still are, but the sport itself, the college game itself, has been an impure, imperfect thing from day one. And the moment things got put on television, that was the end of it. I mean, there's scandal after scandal every single season. Every single time that we look up in the news and college sports about guys being paid, or taking to strip clubs, or getting free meals, or getting benefits, or boosters, or whatever, everyone is making money except for the work, right? Except for the laborers, except for the employees. And to those of you who say, well, hey, you get a full scholarship, that's got to be worth like 60 to 100 grand, so that's plenty right there. No, that's not plenty right there. That's truly not enough. And it's not enough for a bunch of reasons. Not enough because of what these kids are risking. You know, I played alongside two different guys who one had partial and the other had full paralysis from playing football, from the injuries that happened on that field. These guys were not making any money outside of football, or they were not making any money off their likeness. They were not making any salary. They were just out there playing for, as some of y'all put it, the love of the game and the school, and their lives were forever changed because of the sport. And once things were over with at the university, that was it. I don't know that they still receive the support they should, and I don't know that there is any sort of insurance policy to cover that. And there's no savings account to show for that for what they put in for the school. So when I see things like that, it makes me look at it completely differently. It makes me look at risk versus reward completely differently. And I think, what's the school risking? I don't know a lot of their risks. I don't think they're risking much at all, especially not the major institutions who are making hand over fist. The kids are risking everything. They're risking their health, and in some instances their lives maybe, in extreme circumstances. But the point is, there's a risk every time they step on the field or onto the court. You know, I've seen guys in basketball break their leg in half with a bone sticking out. There's no paycheck involved in that, right? That's just the risk you take. Well, I think it's time for that to change. I think guys should be fairly compensated for what they are bringing to the table, and I think that is as American of an idea as anything we have. And I think that should be in the damn Constitution. Like, it just should be the way it is. And I think soon it will change. It's already changing. Everyone's waking up to it, and that's fantastic. It's been that way for a long time. Let's try it the other way. And I hope it doesn't ruin everyone's love of college sports. Doubt it will. Doubt viewership's going to go down. I doubt anything will change. It just means a very specific demographic may come into some sort of, hint of generational, change and maybe some money. And I think that's what some folks don't want to see. And that is a whole different podcast that I'll have to get into at some point, because, like I said, it always struck me as funny when when I say we, I mean us as Americans, we have no issue with, a kid from a certain demographic going pro at a young age and making money, right? Like, i.e., a lot of young pro golfers, or Andy Roddick, or one of these guys who's a child prodigy, and they're great at the sport, and, they go pro at 16, 17, and they're making money in tournaments and all that stuff. Everyone goes, wow, that's impressive. But, another child prodigy, 16, 17-year-old from, Akron, Northeast Ohio, is maybe the best in the world for his age group at what he was doing, and probably is the best in the world now in the NBA. He goes and gets, free Hummer, or someone wants to give his family, his mother, some gifts. You're talking about a former foster kid in LeBron James. He gets a few gifts, and everyone freaked out here in Ohio. Everyone went crazy. Oh my God, he's going to compromise his amateur status. He's getting gifts and all of these things. He's still in high school. All their games, should be voided. All their wins should be voided, in Akron St. V, because LeBron got a new truck. Could you imagine? Like, that's the world we live in, right? It's unbelievable. And like I said, it always seems agenda-based to me in some respects. I hope it's not. But it just kind of seems like that. And I think that is one of the things that needs to change. And, if we like capitalism, then we got to like capitalism all the way around. We can't just like capitalism when the people we like to capitalize are capitalizing. We can't all of a sudden hate capitalism when the demographic that we don't want to be able to capitalize starts to have an opportunity to capitalize. We got to decide what we want. It's either one way or the other. And that's all I'm trying to say. This has been today's 2 Cents podcast. Very, very happy to get into some of these topics. Want to hear you guys' feedback on this topic or any others mentioned in the show. As always, please get out there, like, subscribe to the podcast, follow me at JRichardson99 on Twitter, follow the show on IG at 2 Cents Show. You can always hit us up, slide in the DMs, and let us know what you think of the show. That's the only reason you need to be in our DMs. Other than that, you guys have a good one. Take care.
Survival, the name of the game. You wanna play? You wanna race? Don't wait for the bang. Let's go.